La La Land definitely has both the peace and the rage together. The first thing that happened was I jaywalked naturally across the street, and a skinhead in a red pickup truck screamed at me as he almost hit me, saying, "You're the reason everything's falling apart!" And he was right. The next day, I went to my friend's farm in Encinitas and stayed in the Native American-ish teepee. He was a sound healer. Some people in this room know him, Aaron. And Aaron was, you know who knows him based on that laugh. Aaron was, he's a sound healer. He's raising chickens. The chickens love when he plays the monochord and he does the sound healing. The chickens come and lay eggs next to him as he plays the chord. And I told him if he doesn't sell those eggs under the name Cosmic Cluck, he's an idiot. Cosmic Cluck, I'd buy those eggs. But it was also the holidays. Who went home? Who went to the strangest place for the holidays? Great, I got you beat. Rural Pennsylvania. I went to Edinburgh, Pennsylvania, not the fun one. Edinburgh, Pennsylvania is where my sister's boyfriend's parents live. Now put that together and what have you got? A gay out of place. I was in the middle of nowhere and I did a sparkle hour there, and believe me, unlike how you're laughing so generously right now, I mostly got looks of concern. It's funny going home, you know, we all have our family traditions. My sister, who's a nurse, insists on our annual blood pressure competition. Every year we take our blood pressure to see who wins. I had the lowest systolic and the highest I don't give a fuck. We also naturally took our anti-acid pills every morning, and my sister's boyfriend's parents had their own tradition, which was screaming at Alexa 26 times over the course of the day, "Play Charlie Brown Christmas!" Keep the peace, how we keep the peace. It was beautiful, but I did feel like I kind of went back to this 14-year-old version of myself. Anyone know what this feels like? Great. Are there any people that happen to be like me at 14, which is half Catholic and half Jewish? You might say I'm a cashew. Every time you laugh at that joke, an angel dies. But you know, all the, direct aggressive guilt from the Catholic side and the passive aggressive from the Jewish. I'd like to describe the Jewish side of my family as very good at playing the game Clue, and the Italian Catholic side is roaring alcoholics. I was not a very forthright individual growing up. I was closeted until I first came out online as a gay wizard in the massively multiplayer game EverQuest. Are there any EQ fans in the house? Precursor to WoW, World of Warcraft. Yes, she was Aeolian on the Praxis server. I was an African-American wizard avatar. And I was one of the most powerful wizards in the game. And I went by the name the Pink Pansy, and I would make up rhymes as we killed dragons. In the real world, I was a nice little closeted boy, but I tell you, online, she was fierce. It wasn't until like 4 years later, senior year of high school, that I came out in front of the real world, aka in front of my entire Catholic high school class, in a Jesus moment, and it's my Jesus year, 33, but I had it at age 16, yes I did. I felt Jesus call my name after 4 days of silent meditation on Kairos, a Jesuit tradition. Any Jesuits? No, good. I don't support them. But I spent 4 days on Kairos with them, and at the end of the 4th day, you're asked to live the 4th. And so I volunteered to give the homily. The homily is when you talk about the gospel. And at the end of giving my bullshit remarks on the homily, I said in front of 1,000 Catholic high school friends of mine, Jesus would want me to tell you all right now that I'm gay. And that silence, you could cut that silence with a gay knife, because I've never experienced a silence like that. And the liberal-ish Jesuit priest came up to me afterwards and they said, "We're so excited for your life discovery. And we can't wait to tell you about the power of lifelong celibacy." She didn't take the advice. Yeah, I love the Jewish side of my family. My dad is currently dating a woman named Judith, She is Israeli. Judith and I, as an aside, have the funniest text message exchange of all time. I first met her on a Christmas, I know, ironic, in like 2010. And we had a wonderful time together, and naturally afterwards I got blitzed at a gay bar in San Francisco. And the next morning I got a text that said it was so nice to meet you. And naturally, in my hungover state, I just wrote back, "Who dis?" And she said, "You did." Who dis? You did. But back to closeted Philip. You know, I wasn't a walking, talking wizard back at age 16. No, I was a just recently out boy. And the year that I came out, 2004, that tsunami hit in Indonesia. And that tsunami was the topic of our Thanksgiving Catholic family discussion. And my mother, she got drunk, God bless her heart, and she said, that tsunami that killed all those people in Indonesia, it's because they didn't believe in Christ. And my sister, God bless her blood pressure checking heart, stood up and said, "You can't say that. That is offensive. You can't get away with statements like that anymore, Mom. I don't care if you're drunk." And my Uncle Craig stood up and he said, "Oh, you libtards, you don't appreciate a religious woman with conservative values." And my Jewish father just looked in his soup and said, "Everyone, please eat your soup." And everyone just started screaming and getting louder and louder at each other until finally my Aunt Janice stood up from across the table, pointed right at me and said, "We all know what's really going on here. It's because Philip's gay and no one's talking about it." And I stood up from that Thanksgiving table and I walked over to the piano and I started playing Debussy's Clair de Lune. Because this is how I knew how to deal with conflict. Online, I'm a gay wizard. In real life, I'm terrified. No. No. But thankfully, I don't have to be that scared little boy anymore, and we don't have to be afraid to celebrate life, which is why I'm so excited to bring up our first guest performer. I've invited them to do stand-up, dance, song, whatever their heart sings to, and she's one of my faves. Please help give it up for Jo Firestone!